Hi there, it's Mrs. Bradshaw Smith here for a school at home. So today we're going to be making our mud creations. So I've got all my things that I collected on my walk here. So it looks a bit like a woodland floor, doesn't it? There's lots of lovely things in here. Right, so next thing we need is some mud. We got the mud that we picked up when we were on our walk, but that's not going to be enough for me. So I'm going to go and find some more mud in the garden. So I've got my stick with a nice pointy end on it so I can scrape into the soil. There we go, and loosen it all up. Don't want any stones in it, but I can pick those up later. So this is what you can have a look at when you're out for a walk, because not all mud is the same colour. So one's really dark and the other one's quite orangey. You can get bright red mud as well, and you can get grey mud too. All sorts of different shades. So when you're out walking, have a look at the ground because it's actually really interesting. Now I've got a bit of water here to mix my bits up. So I'm not going to need very much water. So you're adding just a little bit with your fingers. And can you see what's happening? Oh, look at that. It's getting really squidgy now. And that's coming together really nicely. So that's kind of brought that into a nice clump. I can roll that into a ball, which is what you want. Now some soil won't do this. If it's sandy, too sandy, it won't come together. But that's what you want. You want mud that does that. I thought we can make some animals. Now there's an animal in the woods. It's a small one. You can also find them in your garden. It's quite spiky. Okay, it likes eating worms and beetles and things like that. And you have to look after them because there aren't very many of them around at the moment. Okay, so we're talking about hedgehogs today. So we're going to make a hedgehog. So I've taken my round blob and I've kind of made it fat at one end and pointy at the other end, and I'm just pinching it with my fingers like this. There we go. So it's got a nice pointy nose. Okay, this is going to be its body. Right, now there's my hedgehog shape. It's looking rather fun. Okay. He's on his piece of paper. What can I use to decorate my hedgehog? Well, I think I'm going to make some eyes first. So I'm going to use a twig to do that. So I'm just literally going to push my twig in, and I'm just twirling it around a little bit, okay, to make his eye. So that's my hedgehog's eyes. Now I've got to decorate my hedgehog. I've got lots of things here. I could use these maple seeds. These are some little ivy berries. They're still a bit green. They go black eventually. I think it would be rather nice if I put those in eyes. Oops. So I know my hole's big enough. They look like proper eyes. There we go. I am going to use my maple leaves because they would make rather nice spikes on my hedgehog. So what you need to do if you're doing hedgehog spikes, you need to start at the back end. Okay, you just push them in. There we go. You know what these look like? They look a bit like feathers, don't they? So if you wanted to, you can make a bird. Oh, I've just noticed I've got a nice little round stone here. I could put that over his nose. There we go. Got these ones. These would make good ears. These are the beech nuts. Or how about, even better, what about these ones for his ears? They would be good because they're a bit bigger, aren't they? You'll be able to see them a bit better. There we go. That's my hedgehog's ears. If your mud cracks, just put a little bit more water on it. Just dip your finger in the water and then you can just smooth it over. Okay? There we go. What I could do, when I've got that one, is I could put my hedgehog on top of it. Look at that. So he looks like he's in the grass. There we go. And I could put a bit of moss around him. That is my hedgehog, and I can lift him up on his sleeve. There we come. You can have a look at him. And I can leave him in the garden to dry out. I went from making a hedgehog, here he is with his moss, we did him. I made an owl. This is using the beech nuts and some acorns. And then I've got the laurel. I thought it made rather nice feathery looks. This one's rather fun. So this is little birds. These are the pine seeds. So I've used those for some feathers at the front and on top of his head. And then I found some really tiny acorns that hadn't quite come out. You can see the acorns are in the middle, but they make brilliant eyes, don't they? So this is my mouse. So here is my curly tail made out of ivy. And then I've got some ears made out of the monkey puzzle. And I've used, for my eyes this time, I've used some catkins, because if you look very carefully, they've got a middle and they've got like almost like a flowery shape. And I thought my mouse ought to be a bit furry, so I've used some of the lichen that we picked up in the wood, and also some bit of moss. So he looks like he's got a nice furry coat on, doesn't he? Okay, so my hedgehog now has lots of friends to play with.